Daddy's home. Daddy's home.
That's your jam.
True.
Yeah, actually, I can't get that out my head. I can't get that sexy song. Like what I said about that, I just be doing stuff.
I watched you do a complete about face online, and I knew you was gonna do it. I knew you was gonna do it.
Oh, you know I was. Go ahead. Let me address why.
I said Drake put out a decent album.
The album.
Go ahead. The
album's not that good. It's just that I still like to. It's like how when I first saw the third Batman, and I go, the third Batman was not really that good, and everybody goes, "You're crazy." And then 6 months later, there was op-ed pieces written about how it wasn't that good. Nigga, y'all know that Drake album's not that good.
Like you like
I wanted.
I
like to see how humans act. I like to see how humans act.
You like Batman and Robin, dog. I look, man.
No, I don't like Batman and Robin.
Which Batman do you?
I like Batman Forever.
That's good.
That's the same thing for me.
No, it's not.
Okay,
I know what it is.
Okay. But
I'm not saying Drake's album was trash. I'm just saying it left much to be desired. And I go, everybody's going to hop on this because it goes back to my old adage. Yeah. The phrase "keep the same energy" should not exist because people get mad at the baby for doing the same shit. Don't get mad at Drake for it. Anyway,
I don't get the connection, but I'm gonna say this. I think Drake put out a good album for Drake.
Yeah.
Like when I say keep that same energy, I grade Drake across the board. How would you rate this album compared to other Drake albums?
Compared to his other albums?
Yeah.
Second to worst, with his worst being his first effort.
You think this is Drake's second worst album?
Yeah, because his worst is what's that? The first one or the first studio album?
Oh, now see, I think it's
Thank Me Later.
Yes. Thank Me Later was garbage.
Okay.
But I was like, yeah. I use the word garbage and not in the Joe Budden way. I mean what I'm saying. It's garbage. It's trash.
Now see, I'm flipped. I think this is his second best album.
Wow.
Right behind now look.
You listen to all of them?
Yes. I'm not the biggest Drake fan though. Like I'm just not. So look, I like Drake for I like 40s underwater beats. I like some singing, but not a lot. I go to Drake for club and light introspection. Light. I don't want Drake to get deep because
I don't smart dumb nigga.
So I'm not gonna call him that, but I'm saying I'm like with me. As soon as the first track hit, I was like, oh, okay, this is what Drake does. And to me, he delivered. Did everybody out rap him on that album? Yes. But as far as putting together an album, it was good. Like I felt like
everybody out rapped him but Young Thug. I'm sorry, Young Thug's verse is memorable because it's so terrible.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I keep saying that. I keep talking about how red my spaghetti is.
Hold on. But the song should have never been on the tape, so that's the reason why.
It's a terrible song.
I will give Drake at least credit, unlike his counterpart, Kanye, for editing himself. Like, there are a couple of songs that I'm like, all right, I didn't need those. But it's not like when I listen to the Kanye album, I'm like, dog, somebody should have sat down with you and been like, let's reduce.
Did you listen to it after listening to CLB? Because after listening to CLB, I went back and listened to Donda, gave Donda a couple extra points.
No. Like, I'm with you. I'm with you on
a better album than I thought.
Kanye has really made some really expansive, like just movie style music. I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it. Like hands down. The only thing I got out of both these albums is that Outkast need to put out an album. Like hearing that Andre 3000 verse and then seeing Big Boy rap, I'm like, would y'all just
better than both albums
and quit waiting? Like y'all ain't gotta wait for nobody. Mm-mm. Andre 3000 on that snippet was incredible.
The snippet. Have you heard the whole song? The whole song.
I heard the whole song.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And my thing was, I know people are like, oh, Kanye. I'm like, I think Andre 3000 being so good in that song make Kanye rap better. And then I'm like, Doug, y'all, look, y'all just need to put out better music. Like
and Kanye's first verse on that song was better than his second verse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Absolutely.
Before he added in the diss and stuff, I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking on this part. Normally,
you're not, but you were giving good points. So we was
you know how we do, but it's fine.
We still ain't done your introduction. We ain't talked about what's going on with us. You know,
well, I mean, I cut off like the dude from what's the dude from? I got my face cut off like Wizard Kelly right now. So that's the
nobody can see you right now. It's just
exactly. So it's still
exactly. You're just the man.
So it makes sense. I can answer everybody's question. We have a few people on this podcast. We have obviously welcome to In My Humble Opinion podcast. Once again, this is I'm one of your hosts, Avery, like a very nice guy. This is my brother, Jess Devon, ladies and gentlemen. Jess Devon.
I'm going by COVID D right now.
COVID D right now. The nigga got COVID.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? We can't really be in the same spot. It's all good.
Thank you for dropping off my stuff the other day, though. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
But you know, one of the great things about this podcast is we like to spotlight, you know, everything that's going on that has to do in and without the Houston area. And of course, we like to, you know, put a spotlight on all different types of people, especially the black and ugly as ever. I stay Houston down to my socks. It's another episode. Once again, I'm introducing it again of In My Humble Opinion podcast. We are back. So we have a special guest in the building, not even in the building, but coming from his home today, another black man, as you've seen, but you don't know because you can't see his face. You know, he talks about a lot of things. When it comes to it, he's a man of himself. He's independent. He's an independent artist, and independence is true freedom. The best part of independence is that nobody can tell you what to do and when to do something. You're responsible for your own wins and your failures. All right. It is the best, but it can also be detrimental and the worst part as well. Now, nobody's there to be your sounding board or to help you get your work done. Some excel, but some actually do fail. But there are the ones that are really out there that get it done, and they're really out here getting to that fucking dough. Okay, our next guest can tell you exactly how to move in a room full of vultures as an independent artist. All right, with his latest efforts, all right, latest offerings to the rap gods in your phone right now. He has Peer Fucking Pressure, which I really, really like, or Done. His EP that's out right now came out a couple months ago. And it's on everything that you're streaming right now. We have our returning guest, John Fuggin Dough. And we're gonna ask, the question that is on everybody's mind. Is he done?
Nah, man. Nah. I had to check. It was like a heat check. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm not, man. I'm not. I'm gonna just answer the question because I know you got a lot of other. Yeah, but no.
Well, I was gonna ask questions the web to that, but it's cool. Like
you asked the question already. Why would you ask a question like, "Is he done?" Let's go ahead and start it there.
There you go.
Really is. So it was the point in it wasn't just about. Well, really, it was because if I don't take it as seriously, I'm gonna be done. If I don't reach certain goals, I'm gonna be done. But also kind of like I'm done playing, you know what I'm saying? If it is time to go. And I think it's time to go, you know what I'm saying? In terms of progress and setting goals and going harder and things of that sort. So it moved from am I done to like I'm done playing? And it was all encompassing, So I kind of threw everything at this tape. Not in terms of all of my resources, all of my, every single bit of skill. Like there's new songs that I haven't released that have different sounds than that one does, but I felt like that kind of tackled a bunch of different things. It was only 6 tracks?
Yeah.
But it tackled a bunch of different content and concepts that I was like, I'm pretty good at this. Let me see how this sound. Let me see how this sound together. Let me try this out. So that's what it was meant to do.
That's good. That's good. The last time I saw you, I don't know the last time Avery saw. The last time I saw you was the House of Blues. At,
House of Blues, yeah.
The Loud showcase, and you were telling me I got a show coming up, and you told me the location, and I remember because then Dende was telling us about a show he had coming up, and I was like, oh y'all, okay. Well,
I was on the same show.
Yeah, I was on the same show. Tell us about that show, because I love seeing a lot of the artists that we've either interviewed or we see out in Houston just working along together. Like, how did that show come about, and what were your feelings about the show?
The show was live. The show was live as hell. It was some talent on the show that I wasn't familiar with, that I hadn't seen on the scene yet, and there was a few people that I've been seeing for a while, like Dende. I never had a personal relationship with Dende, unfortunately. Like, I just saw him because other people that I'm cool with and respect were cool with him. So being on the same show was cool. And actually, once I started getting the Spotify algorithms and blah, blah, blah up to date as far as more people streaming and shit like that, the first person that they said I was a suggested artist to or related artist was Dende. I was like, that's interesting. So and that happened right before the show. So the show was June 11th, and I think probably like the end of May or something like that is when I got my first like related or suggested artist. And it was him. So that was crazy. But the show was great, man. The show was great. I still need to make songs with some of those people. Like me and Skyra talked about possibly doing some. Who else? Skyra Bliss. Yeah. And crazy enough, and when I ran into you at the show, at the House of Blues show, she was on stage, and I went around. And I went around doing my mingling and stuff like that. Every time I saw her, like taking a breath, I was like, I let this one more person. You know what I'm saying? Moved around and stuff. So yeah, I'm the show came together great. Flight Takers put it together, and that's Russ and that whole team. And it was great, man. Like I feel like everything that they could control about making that a positive event, they did. I wish I would have went on like 30 minutes later, because a lot of my people showed up right after I was finishing up, but that's the nature of it. That always happens. But in terms of what I could contribute, I felt like the crowd gave me, and what I felt like I gave them, I felt like it was very reciprocal. I put a lot of energy into it, and it was, I don't know if I curse, but they were messing with me. They were, yeah.
Yeah, you could curse. This ain't the radio. Well, good.
You can say they was fucking with you.
Yeah, say it.
Fucking right.
Since both of y'all call it from the Matrix. Sorry,
I wish I would have known you would have said that. I would download like a picture with some zeros and ones in the background.
Just to come down in the background. The new one's have you seen the ad for the new one? It looks good. It looks like John Wick meets the Matrix, which I don't know how to explain that.
Bruh, hey, don't say no bullshit like that unless it's true.
Y'all don't like John Wick?
No.
I'm saying, don't say some bullshit like
that. I promise you. It's your boy from Yaya from Candyman. He's the one playing Morpheus now.
Wait, who? Candyman is playing Morpheus?
Yeah. I think they're saying Lawrence Fishburne was not really happy towards the end of The Matrix.
He wasn't happy at the beginning of The Matrix.
Okay, Lawrence Fishburne wasn't happy the whole time. I was trying to, he was just like, look.
I want The Matrix.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There are certain things in the background. I mean, between that, learning that Lawrence Fishburne wasn't happy with The Matrix, and also learning that Will Smith
could have been
The Matrix.
I'm glad he did. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
When they say a glitch in the Matrix, they talking about that type of shit.
Yeah.
How does Lawrence Fishburne not like it? Like,
hey man, you never know what's going on behind.
You got to keep in mind, right? This is an older man that's done a lot, right?
Exactly.
And they're like, hey, you got to lose 50 pounds to do these moves, and he did it. And then they're like, do it again. That nigga's like, nah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's like, I'm trying to show up and act, and y'all are like, hey, we need you to lose more weight. We need you to strap into this crane thing. So we the new actors, Tom Cruise, they'll strap him to a plane. They'd be like, Tom, don't do it. He'd be like, no, I want to do it.
I want to do it myself.
The other people just want to act. Like, they're like, dog, relax. Like, can y'all throw this, fix this in the post? Like, put some computer on this shit.
Hey, for real though.
I mean,
for real, you shouldn't have to. They got de-aging software out here. You can't make me lose 50 pounds. What
the fuck? Hey, that's
they
all.
made them two old with Al Pacino and the other old.
I was just about to say that, boy. Al Pacino and them, and that movie looked ridiculous. When they started fighting, I was like, dog, y'all couldn't find just a young stunt double or something.
Shit, no.
It was like, nah, we just
that,
de-age them.
That boy Al said, "I'm Scarface."
I'm solidified. I'm solidified no matter where I go.
I stop being Scarface. You see the scar?
Yeah.
You see my face?
I think Al Pacino, one of the few white people that can literally be like, I can go about in any hood and I'll be good. I don't got no N-word pass, but I can go in any hood and, hood and be good.
He'd be straight.
Yeah, bro. He meant a lot to the black culture. Like he locked in. He locked in. Somebody auntie would definitely like give him a plate if he walked up to it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we said that. Well, we already said like in our intro. I got COVID, so
goddamn,
I'm stuck inside the house. It's not a big deal. I just can't smell or taste.
I hope you get well, brother. Like you feeling all right?
Oh, I feel fine. You know what I'm saying? I got a slight cold, occasional weakness, but overall, it's fine. It's a good thing we're all separate right now. This is why we have chosen, in my humble opinion, to continue doing virtual. Because I was like, dog, you just don't know. It's difficult. And that's not to say we still haven't been able to go out. We get tested a lot, all that stuff. How have you been dealing with working in this pandemic? Because you're an artist. Like, there are points where you got to be. You talked about, we saw you at the House of Blues, which helped you make connections with other artists. This is how artists work. So how is it working in a pandemic?
A lot of writing and recording. This the time. I mean, just for me, just coming off of done, I was gonna be in the studio mostly anyway, so it wasn't really a big deal on that side of it. I did want to throw my Live from the Bayou show again. It's just probably gonna have to be the spring. I wanted to do something. I thought about doing something virtual in the fall, and I still haven't like completely ruled it out, but it's most likely just gonna be the spring. So stuff like that, cool. I don't accept a lot of shows because I'm just not gonna be a part of just anything anymore. And so if it's a curated show and there's enough lead up to it to do the right type of promotion and it's at the right type of venue and blah 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 blah, I've done a few of those and they've been successful. So it's really just the world gonna do what the world do. But if you're curating and planning something specifically and it's on purpose and it's meant to be impactful and it's intentional, I feel like it'll probably turn out well. You dig? So I'm not doing a lot of that. I pop out here and there, but I'm mostly recording. So for me, I'm not overthinking it. Houston does not give a fuck about COVID.
It doesn't.
No, not at all.
Don't care about. Like they're throwing every event that they want to throw. Like, and the governor not telling nobody go inside. The governor like go out there and spend money. So like shit just gonna be popping. So that's why it's like I don't really think it's gonna be as big of an issue as it could be in some places. I just make sure I gotta I ain't got the mask on me. I just had it in my pocket, but I got a branded mask that got done on the front of it. So even if I gotta pop out somewhere with a face mask on, I'm doing promo. So
makes sense.
It's not a big deal. Like it's a big deal, but I don't go everywhere. I just go like specific places for the most part. Like I'll go to a place where I know enough people there to make it worth it to the point where I stepped out of the house. You dig? So at that point, I don't give a shit.
And that's my thing too. I'm just one of those people like, just be safe. Again, my brother and I, we've gone places. You know what I'm saying? I might not be the best spokesperson because now I do have COVID. But
true.
I caught COVID literally just now. Of all the places we've been, I was like, dog, I get tested weekly.
But let's add to this.
I caught COVID in the airport. I'm positive.
Thank you.
I am positive.
Where'd you go? You flew somewhere.
I flew to DC, and the only time that I felt uncomfortable was my flight back because
DC don't play with COVID.
Exactly. DC was very, very strict. Like it was a lot different where I'm like, everybody's wearing masks. One of the restaurants I went to had a setup outside. Like they built an outside restaurant and they're like, yeah, you go sit on the curb. Like cars was flying right by us. But it wasn't until like, I'm not even gonna say my whole flight back. I had to fly to Chicago, from DC to Chicago, then from Chicago to Houston. When I turned the corner in the airport and I saw like the gate I had to go to, I was like, dog, who are all these people, man? Like I was on a plane that held 178 people. There were 175 people on that plane, dog. It was packed. And I was like, dog, if I'm gonna catch COVID, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be it right here. And
I think as soon as you said that, the universe was like, bet.
Yeah, that's what. Honestly, I was like, I just spoke it into existence.
Say less.
Now that's interesting. Oh, also because you had mentioned earlier you're live at the Bayou Fest, and then explain to people what that festival is. I've been, and like talk to people about like you putting together that festival and what we can expect in the future.
Let me get some more wine, man. So live from the Bayou. I hope and think that I'm getting better at explaining. Yeah, it's cool. It's getting better at explaining what it is. Thank you so much. Getting better at explaining what it is. It's basically, for me, it's just Houston meets Louisiana. That's what it's been so far. It's probably gonna be, let's say, Texas meets Louisiana, and highlighting the cultures of both places. And that's from the music to the food to the, like, we just curate an event that's meant to, for people to enjoy themselves. And that's kind of what it's about. And we have the DJs and the artists. Thank you so much. The DJs and the artists are both curated kind of like half and half. So that way you got the original bounce and then you got the slow ups, and we just kind of add that. This wasn't the best explanation. I could have did better, but that's what it is.
No. I think you did a good job, because I have to say, when I went to cover it, I was fully expecting, even when an artist tells me like, yo, this is my festival and I'm including everybody, I still expect it to be like, oh, this is like your concert. It was not like this is a John Fuggin Dough concert. I am there, but it was definitely this mix of, this is Texas, this is Louisiana. Like you said, the DJs were different, the artists were different, and you showcased a lot of up and coming artists. Or you're giving shots to a lot of artists too. I was genuinely surprised. I was like, oh, okay, like you really putting something together.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, man. I mean, honestly, what I keep saying every time I do it, and I say this more behind the scenes than I say it in front of people, but it's the same. I want everybody that comes, attends, and is a part of it to get something from it. I could potentially have a financial incentive if I handle all of my business right, but that still wouldn't make the event worth coming to, worth being at, or worth being a part of, unless those people that are doing those things get what they need. So for me, if you're an artist, you got to feel like you're going to come here and people are going to be there. People are going to be there to enjoy themselves. The venue got to feel comfortable with who's being there, and the fact that there's not going to be a fight or a shootout or whatever the case is. And the people that are coming there as, party goers / fans / whatever, they want to get a good show. They want to be fed. They want some drinks. And I just make sure all of that happens. Most of the time you see me before I go on stage, I'm not just chilling. I'm not drunk. I'm just walking around like, hey, who's up next? Hey, like, I'm organizing the event. I'm getting each artist what they need to the point where when they go up, they could say, man, I'm glad I was a part of that. So that event has to stand on its own outside of me. I want it to be a system at some point where I'm able to step out of the way and these roles are handled, and this thing can go and just like, hey, just go do this in Vegas. Go do this in Vegas. I got an album to work on. I have a system in place. I have an event. This is a company on its own. That's kind of what it's meant to be. So I don't need to be instrumental to the point where, oh man, I rapped first and then I was in the middle and then I rapped at the end too because it's all about me. Like, nah, bro, this is really just about, I'm part of highlighting the culture. It's not necessarily just like it's highlighting me and then the culture's in the background. Like the culture of the show is meant to be its own thing, so that way it can be independent of me. If I just decide like, hey man, I'm tired. Excuse me, I'm tired one day. Cool. The event still needs to be successful. So that's kind of what it's meant to be, and I'm glad you noticed that. I appreciate it.
Now, the other thing too, like I said, I saw you running around. We didn't even talk at the event. I didn't talk to you until after because I had to.
And I apologize, by the way, because I try to make it a point to everybody that comes. I say thank you and shit like that because it's really important.
Nah. It was no problem because honestly, I was trying to figure out how to work the camera. Like that picture I took of your thing, total luck. My editor was like, this is a good picture. I said, when I tell you I was so frustrated, I didn't know how to work the camera. I just clicked and I was like, we're gonna find out what happened.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But it was good though.
But I mean, I saw you doing all the organization. A couple of episodes ago, we talked to Milo, who puts together a lot of the stuff for the Smush Brothers when that they put together their concerts. And he was like,
that's my dog, by the way, in real life.
And the thing is, though, he was like, look, man, I kind of don't like putting together the concerts. Like, I mean, it takes a lot to put these events together. And we see a lot of Houston artists in particular that kind of know how to do everything. Like, I got to put together the shows. I got to do all the production. I got to do, like, all this stuff. So what do you like putting together the festival as opposed to just creating music? And what could you do to make the festival better, or what were some of the mistakes for people that are listening that are like, yeah, I want to do this too?
It's a great question. That's a great question. So mistakes. All right. So I wouldn't necessarily say they're mistakes. Well, all right. So you're gonna make mistakes anytime that you're trying to do something that you haven't done before. Why do I have it like that? So you're gonna do that. That's if you're not making any mistakes, you're probably just not trying. You're being too safe. So I would say the mistakes for me are the things that I could optimize as far as just like monetization, as far as getting the bread. Like I need to have, and this is me speaking out loud, and I'm just being transparent. I need to have, or you should try to have sponsors. You should try to have somebody where instead of you making money off of all of the artists, you have a brand that commands other people. Other people want to be a part of it. So advertising is big, and it's important for brands to be in front of artists and new fans. So the people that want to be in front of those people that you bring out, especially if you know that you can bring out a certain amount of people consistently, then somebody might want to be like, hey, I want to be in front of your people. Let me throw you a few dollars. And that's, for me, the next thing that I want to do with the next Live from the Bayou is make sure that I have some sponsors, some people that's actually going to say, hey, shout out to your crowd. Let me get in front of them, a few dollars, whatever the case is. Or it might not be monetary. It might be some other stuff, So that's one thing that I would say can be better, because that curbs whether or not, if one artist doesn't do as well with getting his crowd out, that's still, from a back end standpoint, you don't have to be as worried about, am I going to make profit? Am I going to break even? Things of that sort. You're talking about, am I excited? I'm not excited to be talking to all the vendors and all the artists and having to do check-ins and ask people to promote the shit. Like, no, hell no. That's not like, no. Like, I'd rather chill here and just like maybe smoke, maybe not, maybe drink this wine, maybe not. Throw on some beats, write my stuff, go record when I can, try to collaborate with artists on that side of it, make as good music as I can, make videos, and then just like drop shit, and then, videos and perform some places. But like going on the back end, booking the venue, deposits, and all this other shit, nah, I mean, it's essential though. I think it's important. The being in Houston, you just kind of realize that you can't just sit on your ass. You can't just record. You gotta have merch. You gotta have a show. You gotta be a part of the show. You gotta control your destiny a lot more, because it's a big ass city with a lot of artists. So I could do better on many facets, but I'm also doing better than some people that they want to make music, and they're also deciding that I'm not about to do shit besides make music. they're gonna have a few fewer fans or a few less dollars or a few less whatever than I would, just because I did that extra step, you know. And Live from the Bayou, Milo was on there, Retro has been on there, some of the other people y'all have had on the podcast have been on there. And I'm just glad and lucky that I was able to work with them. And they made it easy to work with somebody like that that already knows the business and it's not really tripping, and they come and they know what they got to do, you know. But it's not exciting. Like, I don't wake up in the morning like, oh, I get to plan the show. I'm like, I'd rather just make music. I'd rather just make music all the time.
I mean, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. So when we talk about the music, though, like, talk about that last EP, Done, where I mean, like I said, Done can be taken any kind of way. Like, it can be taken like, you know what, I'm finished and I'm done, to quote Baby. But you know what I'm saying? But Done, like you were saying, can also be taken, and I didn't think that that's how you were gonna bring it, like in another direction. Like, yo, I'm done playing. So, what was your thinking when you first decided to come up with the album title and then start recording?
So the title wasn't until the tape was basically done. And I sat there with my creative director, in the company that I work with for like branding and promotion, which is the Clever Group. I worked with them, and I sat down with their CEO, and we went over a bunch of alternate ideas, but we settled on Done. It wasn't overthought. We thought about making an acronym behind it and all this other shit, but like, really, Done was just like, it was meant to do the things that I mentioned, which is just basically done playing games, but also like, if this shit can't do what I needed to do, I'm done, so on and so forth. So because of the fact that Done is like a compilation tape, it's like a playlist, it's like a whatever the hell. So it's not cohesive in the sense that it's about to give you, like, I'm explaining the process and the mindset behind being done, and you know, all my raps are telling you that I'm done. It wasn't no shit like that. It was literally just like, hey, these are a bunch of different things. If you fuck with it, cool. Like, I'm done playing. If you don't fuck with it, I mean, I'm done. You know, because behind all of this other stuff, and the reason why I'm okay with throwing my own events and everything is because, like, I'm on businessman stuff as well. In the sense that if it don't financially make sense, it's like at some point you gotta like reevaluate and reassess. And you know, music, you put a lot into it before you get anything out of it. And if you don't have your shit together, you won't get nothing out of it. So yeah, I was done playing. I got a lot of business, more organized than it had been before, and so on and so forth. So, you know, I was done playing. And once I was able to set certain tangible goals on some streaming stuff and like certain numbers I wanted to reach, and I did that, then it showed me that, okay, if I get even more organized, I can be even better. So now I don't have a name for another project, but I'm done playing, not done making music.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's good to hear, because we're seeing a lot more, especially artists that I see that are really oriented towards the business. Whether we're talking to you, whether we're talking to Milo, whether we're talking to Bingo,
Cool with all those brothers.
Yeah, and it's like when you're talking to them, there is also this kind of theme where, and I don't want it to come off as sounding defeatist. Like, they're literally like, look, like what you were just saying, this is a business. So if I'm not hitting what I need to hit, then I'm gonna go do something else.
Yeah.
And then y'all put out a project and it does what y'all wanted to do, and you're like, all right, I'm about to start. Things are about to be different, because now we're about to start ramping things up. And I'm just kind of wondering, since we're seeing this common theme amongst a lot of the artists that we're talking to, and we try to pick out artists that are doing stuff business wise, like making these changes. I'm just wondering where it's starting to come from all of a sudden. Is there like a shift that's happening in Houston? Is there a shift in terms of music industry in general, or is it just like pure coincidence?
See, that's why I fuck with y'all. That's a good ass question. That's a good ass question. I don't know if it's chicken or the egg, bro. Honestly, it's so like, I've had conversations with like Milo. I've had conversations with Retro, with a few of these brothers that's on the same shit. And it's really just, I mean, before I named my tape done, niggas was already talking about, man, like, I'm done with this shit, da 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 da. I didn't put it in music before. Like some of the best rappers that I know, which are also some of the best rappers like statewide and probably nationwide, are some of the people that are on the local scene. And because of that, if you have a skill set that's here and you have results that are here, at some point you realize that, because you know you start off when you're that good and it's natural, you start off and it's just like you're probably just looking for some intangible shit. You're looking for respect. You're looking for, you know, a song on the radio, whatever the case is. A lot of people I know, they've already accomplished all that shit. So at some point you got to start looking at what's the next goal and what's the next thing I want to do and how is this going to be sustainable, because you either enjoy the shit at the end of it. Once you reach those goals, then you either like, all right, cool, I'm straight. And some people just fizzle out because of that. And that, you know, and I'm saying fizzle out. They might just decide to do something different. They might not reach that goal and might say, you know what, it ain't worth all the energy I'm putting into it or whatever the case is. But if you say, I fuck with music, I enjoy this is something that I want to consistently do, you got to find a way for it to make sense. And it only makes sense if those cents turn into dollars. You know what I'm saying? So at some point, you know, you gotta, and you realize that it's possible. You know, I mean, this is Houston. We seen UGK and we seen, you know, but if you're paying attention to the landscape, you see Joey Badass, you see Jay-Z, you seen people that did it at all different levels of independence and controlling their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nip and so on and so forth. You see people controlling their stuff and controlling their destiny a lot more. And you just realize, all right, I got to do more if I plan on being for real about it. You know, and some people could just drop music and drop merch and that's all they shit and that's cool. But I mean, I think because of the conversations that we having behind the scenes, we're realizing like we got to do more if we want more. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it's coming down to. And I think that's just watching the landscape, being aware of self and what you're capable of, and also realizing, like I was saying at first, you know, you dope as hell, your results are not yielding that. You don't become less dope. If you become more dope or you create more music that taps into more different stuff, then it's like it's probably just a problem with me getting in front of the right people. What else I gotta do? And then you start trying to doing that. You know what I'm saying? And Milo dropping shit back to back, and I'm like, I'm sitting on songs and I'm like, I'm getting bitches together, and I'm like, that's what you do, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? You get them bitches out and you drop them hoes, and then when I come, I'm gonna do the same shit, and we gonna have some shit out. Like we ain't even recorded yet, but it's just like just watching people that's doing work. That's my whole thing. I've never, and I know I'm being long-winded, but I have never like just given a verse out. You know what I'm saying? If I give you a verse, it's because I think, especially nowadays, I think you're about to do something with it. I think you got enough passion and care about your craft for you to take that song serious and that verse serious. So because of that, if I'm only collaborating with those type of people and we constantly making music together, it's got to go up from there because nobody ain't bullshitting. So that's really what it's about, bro. It's just, you know what I'm saying, staying on your own ass, setting new goals, and realizing if you want to do this shit and you want to do this shit for real, you got to be on it, and you can't just be, hey, I just rap, because everybody just rap. Yeah. You got to rap and something else, unfortunately.
Yeah, and we see that. I mean, that's just a big thing in Houston. And who else? I'd be remiss if I didn't mention like Boy Drew, because that's conversations that we've had as well, where it's like you talk to all these people and you're starting to see this common feeling amongst artists, like I got the talent. Like I'm not gonna get more talented. Like this is just
no, hold on, wait a second, nigga might get more talented.
Go ahead.
Don't sleep. I'm just saying, the nigga might get more talented. I think I've got more talented.
It's but I mean, my thing is, I give you that. Because the focus for a lot of people is not necessarily the talent. Like my talent is there.
Yeah,
it's everybody else's exposure to my talent, and that's where all of the work has got to come in. Like now, it's like I got to figure out ways to show people that I'm talented. Not to prove to people that I'm talented, but just like I got to showcase my talent in different aspects.
Right.
My hat goes off to you for eating a banana on camera too.
I don't give. Hey man, that's and all that other positive shit, man.
I eat bananas. I'll be like, I don't care. This is streamlined to you.
I'm glad. I would hope by the time 2021, we've gone through a whole pandemic. I would hope people would be able to just eat. Dudes could be like, "Yo, I'm gonna eat a banana" and just be done with it.
Popsicle.
I just feel like if a nigga see something phallic in the first thing, well, it ain't even phallic until you start thinking about
that. So many people. Well, I mean, people get caught up. Like, people get caught up. Somebody sent me a picture of Russell Westbrook in a dress, and they was upset. And I was like,
that's that man business.
I said, I don't understand. I said, nah, you could have sent me a picture of Russell Westbrook in pants, and I would have had the same reaction. Like, Doug, why are you sending me Russell Westbrook? Is he dunking? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I'm like, look, man, I wish him much success, but I don't know why you mad.
Yeah, bro. Somebody was telling me not too long ago about, like, yeah, man, I know somebody that be like talking about women on OnlyFans on their Facebook. Bro, you got your own Facebook and you dedicating it to somebody else's business. It's like, stay the fuck out of people's business, bro. Just leave people alone. Yeah. Like, they got a lot of shit that you could be doing better in your life for you to have an opinion about everything. Like, just shut the fuck up. It's cool to shut. Like, bro, if you don't have a podcast, just shut the fuck up sometimes. Like, it's cool. It's cool.
That's the soundbite. That's the soundbite. Thank you.
Yeah, bro. Like, if you don't have a YouTube channel, you don't, like, people don't come to you for your commentary, shut the fuck up.
Or I'd be like, my flip side is like, even if you do have all that stuff, sometimes it pays to just be, because you get people that'll make these YouTube channels or podcasts and say something and then get mad when everybody responds. And I'm like, what did you expect? You thought you was going to give your opinion and the world was going to be like, all right, we believe in your opinion. I'm like, sometimes your opinion is trash. You just needed to market test it. And it turns out the market didn't like your opinion, dog.
And not only that, bro, you could say the most bullshittest of bullshit, and it'll still find an audience, and it'll still find opposition. When you push it into the world, bro, when you push it into the universe, you're not responsible. You can't control what the response is. You're responsible for what you put out. And after that, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take that personal as well. You already was talking about somebody else's business on a public format. That already is a little bit, but again, if that's how you make your bread, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But at that point, what if somebody else make bread off of talking shit about people who talk shit? Now you got what you gonna do?
It is what it is.
That's what I'm saying. At some point,
it's like when the camera people for TMZ, like when a celebrity turned around on them, like, I'm gonna take a picture of you, and they're like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yes, I can. Like, you a human, you took a picture of me. I'm a human, I took a picture of you.
Right.
You mad because I more people follow me? Like, you're like, well, I'm unknown. And like, I don't know.
I know you today. My fucking face. I know you. I see you. I'm looking at you.
Yeah. I said, we all know each other. I'm thinking about that because I just saw Kanye break. Well, Kanye crazy, but Kanye and his security guard broke that dude's camera. But, we'll see what happens with
that. They broke another camera?
Recently. He
really?
He and his security guard, they smashed the camera. Something's going to happen. He was on his way to Hawaii. I think they had to book him to go to jail. I don't know what's going to happen with my man. But I know he'll be fine. He's a billionaire. He'll be all right. Once you get a certain level of money, once
I've been doing petty crimes.
The laws don't count.
I think breaking the camera, like, bro, they get away with a lot of stuff.
They do.
Them people with them cameras, they really, like, they'll be in your bushes outside your crib and then fuck around and take a picture of you and your baby, and you got some shit on your pants and you ain't get a chance to, like, wipe the fucking crust out your eye. And then as soon as you say, like, hey, I'm gonna slap the shit out you, then it's like, okay, cool, threats. Like, bro, you're trespassing. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of the lead up matters once you're a celebrity either. So it's like, I don't feel bad. Their money affords them certain things, but at the same time, niggas be like extra too, though. Like,
absolutely. Because you see, it's like the flip side of this same coin. Because it's like, you see, there are definitely celebrities that are like, I'm calling the paparazzi. I want them to see me. I want them to come out. And of course, I'm a celebrity. This is how I make my money. But on the same token, too, it's like, I don't know what it's like to all of a sudden have everybody justify somebody hiding in my bushes. Yeah. Like, I'm like, if I wasn't famous, y'all would be like, yo, he went and beat somebody up in his bushes. And you'd be like, yeah, that's normal. Like, why was dude hiding in his bushes?
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, but you sold 1 million copies of your record. So now somebody's allowed to hide in your bushes. And you're like, nah.
That's not, yep. Those two things are not correlated. And they just, we just used to it.
Yeah. We're so used to it. My homeboy goes, he said he was a child and they went to Disney World and Angela Bassett was at a restaurant and he started filming her and then she looked up at him and then he ran off and he goes, I don't know why she did that. I go, nigga, she was eating. Why would and it was in his mind, he was like, but she's famous. I go, that doesn't matter. Like, she was just eating.
You can be so like, it's crazy. Like, just the logic behind it. You're so talented that people know you for your talent. So now you become a fucking zoo animal when I see you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get to interact with you in whatever way I want because you're on this, like, I was able to see you online or on TV. So that means that you're used to motherfuckers treating you like a zoo animal, right? Like, you should be cool with it. You should, like, this should be, I'm gonna walk up to you while you with your kids and shit. Like, that's fuck them kids. I want
to be in your face. That Eminem song, I am whatever you say I am.
That's what I'm saying. These niggas wild, man. These niggas wild. They put their pride, like, that's what hey, bro, there's so much good that you could do for yourself if you had that same type of shamelessness about other shit. But like, when it come down to celebrity, you super cool with like putting your pride to the side and all this other shit to be like, hey, bro, like, let me get a picture, let me get in the section, all this shit. Man, hey, bro, you need to feel that type of way about, I don't know, your kids or something. Like, you got other priorities that can use that same type of.
Are voting. Jay-Z,
definitely other things you should be focused on.
You said voting?
Yes, you should be able to care about what's going on in your community so much that you'll be able to wait outside in line in order to get what the results that you want, as opposed to waiting for like to stand outside like VIP. Like Jay-Z had, this is one thing I agree with. I'm nowhere near famous. Way before we even did a podcast, I would hate to go, like, I'd be dating somebody and they go, such and such is at this club, we should go. And I go, for what? To breathe the same air? Fuck that person. Like, who cares? And you
can fill in, it could be any person. It's not even disrespect to that person. It's just like, why would I put in extra effort? I get you. My bad.
But I'm saying Jay-Z, right at the cusp of the Hard Knock Life fame, he was talking, no, it was right after that. He was talking about how he hated going to clubs and being in VIP. And it's an old MTV doc because they're showing him and he's in a club and he's in VIP and no one else. And the general population of the club is having fun. They are all staring at him and he goes, I don't like this. Like,
you're in the fish tank.
Yeah. He's the one that coined, the first time I heard that fish tank, fish bowl thing. And you could see him sitting there, and this is bucket hat Jay-Z. So this is, before Beyonce and everything. He's like, bruh, like, how is this a thing? And then just getting a little, like, getting older, much older, and watching it and just seeing and being cool with, like, the famous people in Houston. I throw up the quotes, but seeing how, like, some of the people, like, they're locally, but seeing how people like I was on Clubhouse with a gentleman and he's pretty known and he was texting me about some things and we were talking about like just random stuff that was going on in the Clubhouse conversation. He goes, I'm just going to say the wrong thing and they're going to agree with me. And he did it. And everybody in the room agreed with him. And I was like,
it's odd. I will say out of all the cities.
Hey, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to say out of all the cities, I think Houston might be the best. And that's not saying a lot, but the best for celebrity culture, because Houstonians tend not to care as much as we're not at LA. We're not even in Atlanta. We're literally like I know people will throw it off as hate, like Houstonians don't care. But I feel like a lot, like I've been places and major celebrities have been there, and people have been like, okay. So, like, what's the entree?
Especially the strip clubs. The strip clubs, a lot of like out of town celebrities will be in there, and niggas will be like, "You won't hear nothing about it." Drake be in and out the city. We are not going crazy.
And that's not to say that there aren't people here that go crazy for celebrities, but when you find out so many celebrities here use Houston as like their vacation home, I'd be like, yeah, there's probably a reason for that, because you can go to. I was gonna say you can go to Walmart, but Benny got shot at that Walmart. Huh?
About to say, yeah, I was gonna bring up Benny got shot in the arm.
Okay, but he did. He was like, I ain't just go to the Walmart like regular. I mean, most of the time, were it not for like occasional bouts of violence, you can pretty much go.
How do you deal with your recognition?
Well, I ain't got to deal with that shit. I ain't got to deal with that shit. Really, bro. I mean, most of the time I'm somewhere, just because I know somebody there. I was invited there.
Yeah.
Like I know the DJ. I know one of the people that's performing. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm trying to meet one of those people. So for me, it's seldom when I go somewhere that has a plethora of people and I just don't know nobody. Yeah. But that's just how I've been moving for years. I expect to kind of know people, at this point. I mean, if you can't go nowhere and be able to like dap up, salute, or head nod like one person, it's like,
it's not
fucking
fun.
Where the fuck am I? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's uncomfortable.
And well, I can't say uncomfortable because I'm gonna still be me, but it's just more I'm used to that just because of how long I've been interacting. And I'm also lucky enough to the point where there have some people that, hey, I've seen you at so and so's face, and I get to interact with them. The first face-to-face interaction, they'll say, "Yeah, I saw you online. I saw you with this, and with this." Nobody's in my bushes, so I have no reason to be aggressive about it at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's cool, and I still appreciate it because the person that's comfortable enough, bold enough, or whatever to communicate that they know me from somewhere, I appreciate that because, like you said, Houston is a city where the thing is the pendulum has swung so far on some like, hey, we don't care about celebrities, that like niggas like almost mindfully and purposefully like trying not to look like they fuck with you. Like you could be on stage killing it, and the nigga in the first row would be like, and when he give you the head nod, that was really like a lot. It took a lot for him to do that, because before that he just kind of like he was trying to watch other people and see if they fucking with you. Okay, all right, we got a few good nods, so I'm a head nod too. Yeah. And then sometimes you're getting, and I feel good about getting in a crowd where people feel comfortable enough to actually interact, because a lot of times niggas don't even do that. And then you'll still get off stage and they'll be like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? Hey, I wanted to tell you. It's like, you ain't tell me none of that when I was on stage. I could have used that interview. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so to answer your question, as far as just like Houston, because the pendulum has swung so far, it's not going to be a crazy amount of just like fandom on some like crazy shit. You will get people that'll show love, and it's much appreciated because I feel like it's hard earned in Houston. I feel like it's honestly, if you get your hustle right in Houston on some fandom shit, on some grinding stuff, like you could go many other places, and I've seen it happen firsthand. If you get all of your stuff together and you take that same hustle and you transplant it in a different city, you'll yield higher results because people don't mind actually showing that love and stuff like that. And that's not just to disrespect the city. It's just, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it out here.
Make it earn it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, even to like go off of that, do you feel like the pendulum will or is swinging back as you're getting a lot of artists, and I'm not gonna say that this hasn't happened before, but it feels like it's happening again, where you have artists like, of course the Megs, things like that are massive, but like Maxo got a song with Tyler the Creator. You know what I mean? Like you're starting to see more, and it doesn't have to be one simple or one style of artist. Toby is getting, sponsorship.
Shout out to Toby, man.
All over the place.
Josh Dollar too.
As you see Toby and Maxo and Bloodbath, and that's just A-Leaf. But I mean, when you start to see more and more artists, and you start to see more and more people looking at Houston, because I'm starting to see it myself, where people are like, "Oh, Houston got like talent." When you see Rolling Stone articles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the pendulum will swing back over in the direction where you'll get people like, "Oh yeah, Houston in," or do you feel like it's just we always just gonna be a tough city?
Again, bro, I'm an outsider, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But because I'm from the booth, you know what I'm saying? But even when you got Tyler, when you got Rolling Stone, when you got Complex or whoever else, that is an outside entity showing love to the city. That's still not I'm here and people at the shows are showing love. I'm here and people within the city are showing love. You know what I'm saying? So it's still different because that's still, like I say, you take that same hustle and you transplant it in a different city. That's still a different city, excuse me. That's still a different city saying, hey, shout out to Houston, in contrast to Houston saying, hey, and excuse me, there's a lot of people and a lot of companies and platforms that are still highlighting the city. So at no point am I saying that people are not trying to change what it looks like. But if you at the shows, and especially at certain shows, and when it's not a curated show and a curated crowd, when it's just literally just like a showcase, that's when you really get to see how the average person is, which is just like, you know, like I said. So you get something different once you actually start curating the shows and things of that sort. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the pendulum is gonna swing. Um, I feel like there's people out here that are just willing to just be like, yo, I fuck with you on all different levels, whether they have a platform or not. So you're gonna see that just because I don't even occupy the spaces where it's just like just some random motherfucker that might not know my name and it's just a showcase and I gotta prove myself to brand new people. Like I don't do that as much. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to deal with the same amount of things and you kind of work your way to a place where you start getting around more people that are on the same type of shit. So because of that, you're gonna see that and then these other platforms highlighting it, you're gonna get to a point where there's gonna be I think there's gonna be more positivity and stuff like that. So I mean, you're still gonna have the regular Houston crowds, which is it's gonna be hard and you gotta fucking prove yourself. Everybody out here rap, nigga, who the hell are you? You still gonna get that. But you could also you know, because these outside entities are highlighting stuff, it's gonna be a little bit easier for people to translate on a bigger landscape, like nationally and stuff like that. So that's why Max will get the love that he does and so on and so forth, because other people could look outside. You know, you'll still hear people like using Houston influences in their songs and stuff like that. So people like I don't think Houston has ever been like shunned. It's just that because the city didn't highlight the city as much as it should have or could have, it took a little bit longer for other people to catch on. So I think people are just, you know, starting to catch on. And then it's waves and it's gonna come back around. You know, you're gonna see other cities and other coasts get a little bit of love. But I mean, people know Houston where it's at, man. People know Houston is on their shit.
Yeah. The South got something to say. The South got
Did that answer the question? I feel like I'm being long-winded on that wine.
Nah, man, that's perfect. Now it's a podcast. If you're not long-winded on a podcast, I don't know where else you can be long-winded. Like
pretty much.
Yeah, and it's because it's y'all, dog. Honestly, like I'm just, you know, just trying
to. We appreciate
you. For real.
It ain't a thing, man. It ain't a thing.
Really, man. We really want to thank you for, you know, tuning in with us and, you know, just checking in so that we could see exactly and let everybody in the world know exactly what's going on with you. And, you know, much luck and much success with you going on right now with, you know, done being on streaming platforms and everything in your upcoming project as well. What else do you got coming out? What's in future for John Fuggin Dough right now?
Glad you asked. Nah, what's today? So y'all know when it's dropping yet? Or no?
Ooh, this is dropping probably this week or next week.
I'm about to say.
Word. So September 5th.
Yeah.
So September 15th, the on top video is dropping.
Okay.
So that's a video from a song that was on my last EP done. After that, I already have the next video shot and edited. And and I have several features that I've gotten back. I'm trying to see if I want to say any of it. Probably not. Just like
I know what song that is.
This should be coming out Tuesday.
I know what song that is.
I don't want to spoil anything, but if you want to tell people, go ahead.
Yeah.
Nah, so I got another song. You know what? This one I'm gonna do because I'm cool with y'all. I'm gonna shoot y'all the video that I just got back. If y'all, yeah. So give me y'all email again so I can make sure. And I'm gonna shoot y'all the video so y'all can see what the next video is. And that's coming out after On Top. On Top is coming out this week. And then, you know, it's gonna go on that promo run for a few weeks. And then I have so many songs stocked up, and I have that next video already shot. And I'm gonna be getting another video shot within the next few weeks while also recording new music. So right now it's just like grind time. So what you're gonna see until the end of the year is just gonna be some dope shit and some visuals to go with the dope shit. Yeah, I mean that's the simplest way to put it. I just want to put out some cool ass shit that y'all can watch and hear, and I want y'all to fuck with that. And if you're not familiar with my music, I want you to go back and check out some other cool shit and be like, hey, this guy's pretty tight. And then I'm gonna drop a new song that sounds different than the old songs, and you're gonna be like, that's tight too. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to keep doing that. I feel like a lot of the stuff that I'm recording right now, even in the past, the last time I went to the studio, a lot of that stuff doesn't sound like anything previous. And I'm constantly doing that right now just to show myself what I'm capable of. And then, you know, I want to ghostwrite for some people before the year's out. And it looks like I got something set up to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like, I got a little bit of everything going on, man, but it's mostly going to be just like dropping shit back to back. But On Top is up next.
All right.
Wow. Ghostwriting, I might have to hire you for my new album, Tupac. I'm Tupac of podcast.
Hey, don't play, bro, because I got
I'm playing. I'm not gonna rap. Why would I do that? Why you stop talking? He was like, I got like a lot of, and then you just.
Yo, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. We can always hear you.
I hope this Zoom call ain't tripping.
No, we can hear you. Fair enough. You know, we really do want to thank.
Hey, if you brothers are talking, I can't hear nothing y'all saying.
It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, he can't hear us.
He can't hear us. He can't hear us.
Yeah. Just message him in the chat because we want to thank you guys for coming out once again. We want to thank everybody for listening. We want to thank you for watching us on the YouTube device. This has been another episode of In My Humble Opinion. I have been Avery, like a very nice guy. That has been my brother, Jess Devon, ladies and gentlemen. And we've come back with another episode with Mr. John Fuggin Dough. In my humble opinion, humbly yours. Thank you and goodbye.